Sam Houston's reckless bravado won the attention of his commanding officer. General Andrew Jackson's success at Horseshoe Bend gave the country a hero. It gave Houston a new mentor.
When Jackson noticed him, it changed his whole career, and he would never have ended up in Washington, D.C. He would have never ended up in the Tennessee governor's mansion if it had not been for Jackson.
Houston's first assignment under General Jackson tested his loyalty to mentors on opposite sides. Because of Houston's relationship with the Cherokee Indians, Jackson appointed him a U.S. Army subagent. In this position, he would be forced to oversee the removal of his foster father from the lands they once lived on together.
Jackson had a much harder view about Indians. Jackson wanted the Cherokees out of there, and Houston had lived with these people, and it set Houston up for a terrible conflict.
Houston had to enforce a U.S. treaty swapping barren western territories for eastern Indian homelands. He knew the treaty was unfair, and his Cherokee family was being cheated. But Houston also knew they faced ruin and death if they remained.
Houston could have resigned as Indian agent and said, I can't move them out of here. If he had done that, another officer would have come in behind him and done it much more brutally. You might have had the Trail of Tears in 1818 instead of many years later.
The appointment forced him to face the harsh realities of politics. It also made him a powerful enemy. In his role as Indian subagent, Houston escorted a group of chiefs to meet the President of the United States. In the greeting party at the White House was Secretary of War John C. Calhoun. As a gesture of respect to the Indian chiefs, Houston wore traditional Indian regalia. Calhoun was enraged.
Calhoun pulled Houston aside and gave him a severe verbal dressing down for the way he was dressed. Well, if you're willing to be an ordinary person, you say, yes, sir, I'm sorry, sir, and you go ahead, but not Houston.
Things quickly went from bad to worse. Acting on weak information, Calhoun accused Houston of a crime he didn't commit. Houston quickly proved his innocence and never forgave his accuser.
When you're Sam Houston, you know your character is above reproach. How dare anybody believe that your character isn't above reproach? So he got angry. So he resigned. And it was perfectly in keeping with what Sam Houston was.